Boy,
Best
did I
day.
sound like an audio producer there. Hey, hello, welcome
Hello,
to Wins
everybody.
and Losses Friday.
It's Friday.
You know, oh, DJ, what's popping? What's not? What's working? What's not? And most of all, what did we learn? That's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly. You know, I don't know what it is, but when that intro comes on, I just get so excited for what's to follow.
I know.
It's
Wins and
crazy. It's
losses is
crazy.
so fun. I'll tell
It
you,
is.
you hit it right. You started right, like you usually do. Right on the money with. You said, "What did you learn?" And that's what I think the biggest key we have to really get out of these guys is when we're talking wins and losses. It's so wins. Obviously, remember your wins and what helped you, but don't think of them as losses. If you just take the L's and think of them as learns, what did you learn from those losses?
What? Look at you. That is, you have the FU, and now you got the L's for learn instead of losses. DJ, you are like the
Girl.
grammatical king, buddy. Look at you. You're a wordsmith.
Don't tell anybody. No.
Well, I think we just told everybody, but anyways, that's okay.
I think we did.
Yeah, it's you know, I know they say, and we've probably hit this nail so many times it's pounded into the wood, but it is.
We have
It's
to.
like I think a lot of people don't really look at wins to learn. It's like, okay, I did it, we're good, but we can learn so much from our wins, and we can learn even more from our losses. Now, here's the thing:
Yes.
if we want to see it, and that's one thing I learned from reading a lot of Napoleon Hill. Is there is a gold nugget in every single failure, and if we just
Absolutely.
look for it, we can find it. And like I'll share with you one. So for those of you who don't know, over the last well, it should have not taken me a couple of weeks, but probably the last 2 weeks, I've been building what's called a sled deck.
Oh, this thing.
And let
Amazing.
me just show y'all what the sled deck is. So
That's
so that is what a sled deck is. And I got all my things saying Dan is live. Dan, I know I'm live. I'm the one doing it. So that's a sled deck. It's a deck that's built for our snowmobiles
crazy.
that goes on the back of the truck. And complete transparency, I've been welding for a couple of weeks. And a lot of people are like, are you frigging, like, you have 1,200 pounds of machines on the back of a truck going down the highway, and you're only but here's the thing. Here's the way I look at everything, and for a win for everyone, if you want to take it as this: we can do anything we want with enough education. So what did I do in preparation for this? Like, I think we've talked about this last week or something. I watched YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video. I once heard, who was it? It was one of my mentors said they were talking to, I don't know, some smart person. And I know that's like good. And it's like, how do you figure out how to learn things? You don't just go to one source. You go to multiple sources. You chew through the information. You stack the information on top of each other. And you say, okay, here's my philosophy, or here's my strategy, right? Like, it's, you see it in religion and all this. Like, it's one way or the highway. And that, I don't believe that's the way to go, especially in business and in things that we want to do in life, right? So
especially
what
since we're all
started
different
this?
too. I mean, we're all
100%. 100%. But you see, what started this, DJ, was something that I think is a must for salespeople. Is I went to look for a trailer. I went to look to buy a sled deck because my son and I, as y'all know, are leaving on Sunday. We're going up to Blind River and we're going riding for a week. We don't have a trailer. I was sick of borrowing stuff from friends because it's for me, it's that if I break it, I got to replace it, and then I still have nothing. I may as well get my own, because if I break it, then I fix it, not replace it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So we started looking. I found 2 trailers. It fell through from a Kijiji thing where I was like, I'll be there tomorrow. And it was, you show up or they call you an hour later and they say, hey, somebody came with cash and they're gone. And I'm like, okay, sorry, I have a job. I work. I mean, but it was like one of these things where it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to create my own destiny. I'm sick of waiting around. I'm sick of doing all this bullshit. I'm going to create my own destiny. So what did I do? I said, well, I started looking how to build sled decks, and I found some plans online. I figured the plan out based on the dimensions of the truck. I measured the truck 5 times. I said, okay, here's my plans. I started researching steel and where it was. And you know what I mean? It ended up being less than $1,000 in steel, lighting, wiring, all of that. And, maybe $100 in flux core welding. And then I called my brother-in-law, who's a millwright, and I said, like, can you do me a favor? Can you look at some videos? So I reached out to my network, right? Here's part number 2. I reached out to my network. Can you
Yeah,
research some, just,
yeah.
when in your off time, when you're sitting in bed chilling before you go to sleep, research some YouTube videos and tell me which ones are accurate. Because, hey, listen, YouTube's a great place for information, but you can get the wrong information real friggin' quick. And perfect
Absolutely.
example is
They're just
I had a
people like
buddy.
us again.
Oh, but I had a buddy a couple of weeks ago who went on YouTube to look at how to service his primary clutch on a snowmobile, and he watched the wrong video and he
Mm.
completely jacked his clutch. So there's
Oh
the
no.
wrong information out there and there's the right information. So he sent me a bunch. He says, these are the pillar. So what I did now, I reached out to my network. My brother-in-law just happened to, like, his whole life has been welding. So he showed it to me. So I watched the videos 5 times each. Okay. Again, I invested in the
Education.
education to make, thank you, the education to make it work. So what it is, I went to town. I started welding. I called my brother-in-law. I did a video chat with him. He's like, okay, that weld's going to crack. Fix it. So I fixed it. And he went over. And then I called when we were all done, I called my brother, and my brother-in-law came to my house, and he spent 45 minutes going to each weld saying, yes, 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 no. Okay, let's fix it. Let's grind it. Let's weld it out. So I had that ability, but everybody in our network has that ability for that person that knows exactly what you're talking about. And so for me, that was a win. And it was a win because, DJ, I once again shared with myself, and I think this is the key point, is we know what it takes to get to that next level, right? Or to get something accomplished that we want. But we sometimes forget what's really at our disposal. And to me, that was kind of the big win. As I was driving the sleds up onto the deck last night, like,
Oh,
there's
that's
something about, like, it is almost 5 feet high off the ground. So you're riding the snowmobile up 5 feet. It's a 10-foot ramp, and you're just kind of like, and you're all of a
uh,
sudden, like, you're almost eye to eye with windows and everything. And you kind of drive up. And I remember parking
oh
the first one,
man.
and I turned around and looked at my son, and both of us had this grin on our face because the accomplishment was insane.
Right.
And I know this has got
Yeah.
nothing to do with sales, but if you look at the way we would connect
But
the
it does
dots.
though. It does because it's the process. It's the
Mhm,
process. I mean, no matter what we're doing, it's the process you went through. I mean, so
mhm.
I wanted to save this quote actually for the end, but because of what you're saying and because of that, I have to go with it. So
Do
Ray
it.
Lewis, so it's from Ray Lewis, and wins and losses come a dime a dozen. But effort, nobody can judge that because effort is between you and you. And
Mm.
that's that was really it was effort
Well, we
to
got we
get
got
in
some
the ring.
DJ connection issues going on, brother.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
We had a few DJ. Yeah, you were a little you're a little jumpy. Happy freaking Friday, man. Gary says, "Morning,
Yes,
Gary."
Gary.
Here's somebody we
Oh,
know. The more you learn,
hey,
the more you'll earn. There you go. Good morning,
that's right.
Jessica. Good morning, Maggie.
Morning,
Derek
Jessica.
Staples. Ziggy Doo Bang Bang. That's how I built my Zamboni. Watched a whole bunch of vids on YouTube, took ideas from them, then built it as efficiently as I could. It works great. You know what? Derek, I did the same thing when I had an ice rink. I built my Zamboni, a little cart, a big tub of water, and this whole system behind it where I had these valves and all this
That's
shit. And
pretty
it was
awesome.
awesome. But
Oh, that is
that's true.
awesome.
Now, if you take that, right, there's 2 people right here out of our limited audience, 2 people right here. And yourself as well, DJ. So there's 3 that say, hey, listen, I'm not going to be stopped by something I don't know. And here's one thing, probably the biggest lesson I've ever learned in my life is we learn into who we want to be. And Maggie said it right.
Yes.
The more you learn, the more you'll earn. And that earning, that commission might be feeling. It's not necessarily
Yes. It
finances,
doesn't have to be
right?
always be money.
No, no,
The
the
knowledge that you
knowledge.
get. I mean, it's
Yes,
yeah,
brother. Derek says,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
brother.
yeah.
And yeah, like when good morning, happy
Good
Friday.
morning,
Good
Lisa.
morning, Lee. When I had that first, like, when that sled hit the top of the deck, that was
Oh,
worth more than money.
oh gosh,
Like,
it
it
had to
really
be.
was.
You had to hear a little bit of music, like oh, or something
Yeah, well,
like.
the skies opened up. It was nighttime. The sun started coming down. I was like, "Oh, I feel so hot. It's good." You know, if I had hair, I would have done the flip. You know what I mean? It was like it was golden, right? You know, like it was.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
that's
it's like, but it's you know, it's that again reassurance, right? Just like Derek said, I watched a bunch of videos, I made mine, and it works great. So now what happens? You're building that confidence competence loop because the next project I go to do, I'm going to be like, again, watch more videos or go online to forums or talks that do it, that do this, right? So in
nice.
sales, it's like, why not? Listen to this person's theory, listen to this person's theory, listen to this person's theories, amalgamate them together, pull, extract from it what's going to work for you, and bingo, bango, bongo, you got
There
her.
you go.
You're golden. So that's my huge win for the week is not only the completion of the sled deck, but also the formation of those thoughts in my head, which are going to drive to so many rungs up of productivity, stickability, and success. Is
Yeah.
as long as I keep remembering that, and I think that's a key for us as humans and even just go getters. It's we get on to the next big thing so quick, right? It's like
Yeah.
this
Oh
worked,
yeah.
and it's
We're
like okay, it worked.
now. What can I do? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, what's next? And it's like, well, hold on, this worked. How about we take that strategy and double and triple our output on it? So
Absolutely.
I'll be sharing in the next coming weeks what we're going to be doing for doubling, tripling that output because I think y'all are going to love it,
Yes.
and it's all this.
Oh,
This
look at that.
show is about to
Look
skyrocket.
at that! Look at that plug! Look at that! I love it. So everybody commenting, shoot us your wins and losses too if you have any. We'd love to share them.
Yeah,
Um,
John says Happy Friday,
Happy
John O.
Friday, John. Oh
All
man,
right, what did you?
he had
What did you?
he had a
What's
great
that?
win. He had a great win this week.
Oh yeah, John had
So,
a fantastic win this week. A couple of them. So did Ryan.
yeah,
Ryan must be late this morning.
yeah.
So share with us what your wins and losses are this week.
So win this week would have to be really really this morning. Listening, getting ready for the show, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to my YouTube like I always do, and yeah, listening to. I like it. Shared my vision with the.
There you go. There you go. Lisa shared my vision with a prospective agent. Beautiful. And did the
Love it.
agent, comment on it? Did the agent come back with a
Yeah.
unified,
What?
yeah, that's a great vision? Because that's one thing, right, DJ? When we have passion for what we do and we share our vision, it engages people in ways that we could never imagine. Right. And it's
Yes.
infectious. It's very
Yes.
infectious. And so is negativity. But it's
Yes.
very
I'm
infectious,
so
right?
glad you said that. Yeah, it is. It is
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Uh-oh.
so what about your loss for the week?
So lost definitely. Win was this morning again. Was listening to ET, and he and actually that's where going. He talked about losses, so wins and losses, and he likes to talk about it a lot. But he likes to talk about learning from your L's and remembering the L's and where you came from, because it's where you came from, and it's how you stay humble. And that's
Mm.
really so my loss this week was I overextended myself, putting myself out there a little too much. Uh, just putting way too much on the plate, and
Mm.
so had to lose some stuff from the plate, but refocused and ready to go. So
And so let's talk about that for a
yeah,
minute
yeah,
because
go ahead.
I think I do that every week and I
I
really
can't.
and it's my desire to help, right? It's my desire to serve, it's my desire to help. And
Yeah.
what I am finding is that desire is pulling from other areas. And
Yes.
and I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
And
and
that's
here's the thing
exactly.
is, but I don't want to give up helping, right? Like and it's kind of like again, we go back to saying we do more for others than we do for ourselves. So it's like I will help. I know I got to do this for myself, but I'm going to help instead. And so
But
we
the feeling you
overextend
get,
ourselves.
it's the problem is it's the feeling you get from helping others. It's like,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I mean, again, in most people's positions, it's like the joy on others' faces when they succeed
Yeah.
is worth more than a success we have. For me, I feel that way anyways.
Oh my
Like my
goodness.
son
Success.
helped me create this sled deck, okay? My son wired it. He's studying to be an electrician. He's like 4 months in.
Love
But
it.
his face when I said, "Okay, well you wired." He goes, "Oh, Dad." I said, "Buddy, you got this. Like you got it." I said, "If you got to watch a video, watch a video." I go, "Listen, like I I'm putting a lot like we
But
could
listen,
have a lot of money fall off the highway driving right here. So there is chances and we have to take chances in life.
yeah,
You got this." He's like,
yeah.
"Okay, I got it. I got it." So I went and bought everything we needed. He wired it. And when he plugged it in, the look on his face was
Oh,
worth more than even me building the sled deck. It was like,
absolutely.
bang, brother. It was like, and he's like, Dad, look at it. It's like high five now. And it's that camaraderie. We're building
Yeah.
that bond above and beyond
Oh,
hockey and
that's
all the
yeah.
other
It's
things we do.
priceless.
It's priceless,
Mm.
priceless. And it's so that
That's so, that's so
it
funny. So I'll tell you from his view because I had the same thing happen. We redid our house, and so we redid the whole basement. And my dad's like, "You go ahead and wire it. You know what you're doing." And I'm like, "I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Are you crazy?"
shit's gonna burn down.
But and he's like, "You do it. You do it. You can run." I did, and yeah, the
Mhm,
him believing in me made me believe in myself, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, yeah, I
mhm.
did it." And yeah,
Mhm.
the
It sometimes just
what
takes
you
one
get from
person.
it. Oh, dude,
DJ, we've said this a million times. All of you watching, listening, you have 10, 20 rungs above you that you can
yeah,
scale to. And
yes.
sometimes it just takes one person saying, "You can do it. You got this, man. You got it." Absolutely. We've got, oh, here we go. Look at all this. Yeah, Lisa said
We got some
yes.
comments over here.
Definitely inspired him and wants to grow. That is awesome. You know what?
Yeah,
That right there, Lisa. So if I could share this, your passion, your energy, and your win has just changed somebody's life. And people talk about legacy all the time. I believe there's things called legacy points where one thing we say, if it shifts the perspective of somebody and changes the road of their life, that's a legacy. We don't
absolutely.
have to put people on Mars to create a legacy. And
Most
and
of the time, we
and
have
I
no
think a
idea in
lot
the
of
end.
people
Most of the time, we have no
that
idea
we
in the end
even
who
did
we
it.
even changed. Yeah.
Mhm. And you know what, DJ? I think one of the biggest issues, I'm going to say, and I don't know if really the word is issue, but the challenges that I see in
Yeah.
the world today is
Mhm.
we all think it's like we got to go real big to create a legacy. And it's not.
Agree.
Lisa created a legacy by
Little
inspiring
things.
somebody that wants to grow. And if that person went out and made 10 more sales calls a day for the next 2 weeks and landed the account of their dreams, that just changed that person's life
Change their
from that
life.
conversation Lisa had. You don't
Yeah.
have to, and it's just from sharing her vision. You don't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
stand
Yeah.
on a stage. You don't have to be a Tony Robbins to change people's lives. Ryan
Yeah.
says, moving to the next steps with my dream customer.
Yes. Just do it. I
Just
like
do
how.
it.
Just do
Oh,
it. That's right.
I wonder if that's a hint.
Wow.
John says,
That's so
found a
funny.
new killer shipments landing about 2K GP. Good for you, John. I hope you're adding $4,000 worth of value to land $2,000 worth of GP.
That's right.
Loss. I didn't sanitize my pipeline after yesterday's video with Joe. I figured out my niches and deleted the prospects that didn't fit that niche.
Look at that.
You know what? I So here's the thing. Yesterday we had a talk with Joe Lynch, man. Our
Yes.
man, Joe Lynch,
Thank you for joining us, Joe.
logistics.
Oh man.
Oh, the like mad scientist of logistics. We had two mad scientists on
Yeah,
this
we
week.
did.
Dean Cook
I
on
know that's
Wednesday, the
crazy.
mad scientist of data, and Joe Lynch, the mad scientist of logistics. And one thing we did talk about was good freight over bad freight, good customers over bad customers. Ryan says he didn't sanitize his pipeline after yesterday's video. Joe, I figured out my niches and deleted the prospects that don't fit that niche. So it's actually a win, but he didn't sanitize his pipeline.
Yeah.
So,
But
you
he
got kind of
learned. So he
both in
turned
there.
that L to learn. He learned.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. David says, thanks, Dan, for putting me in touch with Damon. Hey, David, way to go, man.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? Damon and his team, that's why
David.
they're a sponsor of this show. Centurion Trucking and American Logistics. I mean, they are stand-up dudes. David, you guys are going to work out great. And I know that where you were looking, I think it was BC to Georgia was like their pillar lane. So, hey, listen, if
Hey.
it's steady business and you guys can make something work, let's like the mission here. and my mission my whole time in logistics was stay the hell out of the spot market and create relationships that are going to grow with you. So good for you,
Exactly.
David. Way to go.
Yeah.
John says, great job, Lisa. And then Lisa says,
Absolutely.
you too, John. And then LOL.
Yeah.
That's powerful to think about. It is. And
Yeah.
Lisa, that's the thing,
It
right?
really
Is
is.
like, this is our mission with the show, is empower you to empower everyone around you, and start your day with this, like
Yes.
where you're bursting at the seams with energy, and you're just like, oh my God, I can't wait to sell something. I got to sell something. I got to sell somebody something. I don't care. Sell me this. Sell me my insulin pen. I don't care. It's good. You need it, Dan, or else you're going to die. Hey,
That's just
sold.
what
I'll
we
buy it.
wanted.
I'm done. Yeah. Yeah, and this is the reason we're doing it. This is awesome. And then John says, I agree. Lisa, I agree with that 100%. You're inspiring that person,
Yeah.
100%. And Lisa says, thanks, guys. Here, it helps inspire me to keep pushing forward. That's the thing. See, this is all this pay it forward. You know, you go to a lineup at Dunkin'
Yeah.
Donuts or Tim Hortons, and somebody pays
All
for
the
your
time.
coffee, and then you're supposed to, and you pay it forward. That is in every way in life. And again,
Yes.
did Lisa get any monetary compensation out of inspiring somebody? No. But you know what? Right now, what she just got right now, that thank you and that feeling inside of her saying like, holy crap, I never thought of it like that. But man, that's worth more than any amount of money. Any amount of money.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Now Lisa, you're going to keep pushing forward because of what you did,
You
not
did.
what we did.
Yeah, it was you.
Not
In
what
the
we
end.
did. You did it. You did it. Again, Luke Skywalker, you're Luke Skywalker, or Leia Skywalker.
Yeah.
We're Yoda. We're just guiding you. And you do it all yourself. We continue to say this. There's Kyle. Good morning, Dan.
Morning,
And
Kyle.
DJ, after it, last day of the week, buddy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And at least he comes back. Confidence builder, too. 100%. You know, this is one of the reasons why DJ and I said, Friday has to be all about wins and losses. Like, we've gone through, for some of us, a week that's beat the hell out of us.
Woo,
and I'll
yeah.
share with you, like, my hands are
Get
mangled.
physically beat.
Like, I've been physically beat all week. I've been mentally beat all week. Right. But it's like we wake up every morning and we make a conscious choice. I'm going to be more, do more, and achieve more for myself and other people. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be the best I can be. I'm going to wake up and I often say, I've got these sayings right behind. I don't know if you can see them on the thing, the silver bars, right? So I've got what the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. And on that one over there, it says, make today so good that yesterday gets jealous. And,
I
for
love
me,
that.
is that a good
I
one?
never heard
My
that. I
mom got
love
me
that.
those. Oh, my mom got me those. And I was like, yeah, like, how can I make today so awesome? Yesterday
That's
to
the
be like,
mission for the weekend.
damn,
That's the mission. That's
I
the
wish I
mission.
was today.
Yeah,
And it's not just Friday. Like, you, DJ, you and I, man, we're fired up every day. It's like Mondays are my favorite day of the week. And I know people are like, are you
we get to start
freaking crazy?
again.
Yeah, Mondays are like, yeah, bring it on. And Lisa says, ouch. I don't know what ouch is for, Lisa.
Your hands.
Oh, yeah, okay, never mind. Sorry. Yeah, I was like, wow, what did we say? Gary says that's a good one. Yeah, it's like, we get beat up. Listen, we're salespeople, right? We have, call a spade here. Okay. We have customers. Sometimes we have customers that do not care about what's happening in our environment, in our world, right? When they don't care what's happening in our world, they have zero desire to learn, to educate, and it's always an issue when things go wrong. A lot of the things happening in today's market, we have no control over.
Absolutely.
Like when we were, was it Stephanie yesterday or the day? No, it was Tuesday or something. Dean on Wednesday, when Stephanie reached out yesterday and she's like, "Thanks, the show was great." And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." I said, "Did any of that stuff work?" She says, "No, the customer doesn't want it cross-docked." I said, "Well, where are you at?" She goes, "It's still a nightmare." But it's like the customer doesn't want to hear it, right? So the thing is, most of the problems in today's market, money will fix, but how much money can you throw at a problem after a problem after a problem? Like I'm expecting companies to lose more money this year than they've lost in ages. Right. And I mean, listen, you don't have to go any. New York Times is talking about it. Forbes is talking about it. Inc. magazine is talking about it. Like, be very careful. There's going to be a lot of bankruptcies this year unless people get their supply chain in order. I mean, if you think about it, DJ, you want to talk about a win for our industry and a loss at the same time. there's been more headlines about supply chain in
right?
the last,
I
like,
mean,
call it 8
they
months
are
than there
they
has
brought
been
it
in the
to
last 29
magnifying
years of
100.
my career. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bang.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? Like the last almost 29 years I've been in this industry, I've seen more about supply chain in the last 8 to 12 months than I have in the
Right.
entire almost 3 decades.
Yeah.
So it's a win
Prior to it sounded like
because
magic until they brought it to light. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
now it's really
I saw one of my son's buddies, a kid I used to coach at hockey, last night at the grocery store. I was stepping out to
mm,
grab some lettuce and some romaine lettuce, and I just happened to see him. Young man's name is Ian, and he's like, "Hey, Dan, how are you?" I said,
Fabian.
"Hey, how are you doing, buddy?" I said, "You still at the airport?" He says, "No." He says, "I'm actually driving truck." I said, "You are?" He goes, "Yeah." I go,
No.
"Good for you." And he looks at me like I was absolutely crazy. He's like, "Huh?" I said, "Man, you know what? Awesome, way to go." I go, "How are you liking?" He says, "Oh, it's pretty cool." I mean, we're talking a 22-year-old kid. He goes, "It's pretty cool." He goes, like obviously in the winter
I
and stuff, you
love
got to
it.
be. He said, "You know what, Ian?" I said, "Man, I am so proud of you." I go, "Listen, you need anything, you let me know. Like anything, man." I go, "I'm so proud of you." I go, "That is such a remarkable job." I said, "You see all this?" He goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, I circled the grocery store. He said, "See this?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Wouldn't be here without you."
Yeah.
And do you know 3 people in line go, "Are you in trucking?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "Wow, I've never heard somebody get so excited about somebody being a truck driver." And this one guy goes, "I'll be
I
honest with
did the
you."
same thing. I
Yeah,
love it. I
this
love
one
it.
guy goes, "I'll be honest with you. Um, I never thought of that before." I said, "Here's the problem: is you don't."
Yeah.
And I said, and I don't mean to be an asshole. Like I don't mean to be, but here's the problem: is you don't. Like this is the most important job on the planet right now. Some people say, "Oh, vaccines and da-da." Vaccines ain't going nowhere unless a truck takes it there. Like, let's be
Exactly.
realistic. So
Yeah.
I was so proud of this young man, but the look in his face tells me everything that's wrong with our recruiting in this industry and everything
Yeah.
that's wrong about what people think of truck
They're
drivers
not
and
building the
even
value of it.
young truck drivers. Like he's thinking this ain't a career. I goes, "Listen, if you're ever disappointed with your company or you ever feel you want to go longer distance," he's doing local trucking, right? I said, "If you ever
Okay.
want to go long
Yeah.
distance," I said, "call me. I will connect you with some of the best people in the industry that will give you a career you should already be proud, but that you can glow about."
Yeah.
And it was probably the most
And you changed his life. I'm telling you, you changed that 22-year-old's life. He now
could
is like,
be,
oh shit, I'm in a career. This is when
but
he had no idea
I think
clearly because they didn't
no,
sell it to him that way.
I think
They
it
didn't
goes
build it
back
up.
when my son graduated high school. There was one graduate who put on his thing, "I'm going to be a truck driver."
Mm.
And I'm in the audience and I'm like, "Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah." And you should have seen it. It was all like, "Truck driver. Man, he graduated with like an 80. Why would he want to be a truck driver?" And it was, and not that I heard that, but that's the feeling I got. Like, you could tell a vibration of a room, right? Like you walk in a room and something happens or somebody walks in, like you could feel the vibration move in the room. And you're like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
this room just got cold," or "Whoa, this room just heated up."
Oh
That
yeah.
person must bring energy and vibrance and vitality to things. And I'm telling you, when that happened, it was like, "Oh, come on, man." And I'm just like, I'm like furious, right? Because
Yeah.
this world, logistics, trucks have given me everything I've ever wanted in life. My beautiful wife, my soulmate, my kids, my house, like it's given me everything. And so
Everything.
I really get offended when people don't put it at the highest of high priorities. You know what I mean? So we got look, we are just
Great.
yes, Ryan says inflation is a killer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raw dog food. Company posts on social media that they won't be using the same plastic anymore because of supply chain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa
I
says,
seen that.
"So
I did
true."
see
You're
that.
right, Lisa. Yeah, it is a big problem and totally changed it 100%. I think we're going to see a lot more. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed already, but I notice a lot of things I get from Amazon are no longer in cardboard boxes because there's a huge shortage of cardboard, a
Yeah.
huge shortage of cardboard. And so but you go back and you look at 2018, DJ, shippers got smarter at shipping in
Yeah.
2018. And I think,
Absolutely. That was the
for
little
you
blip
guys,
they
it's,
needed.
yeah, well, and I think it came back. So for all of you in supply chain, um, you know, and I know it's a difficult thing to do, But if you really want to look at like a huge W, and if you want to knock it out of the park, try and figure out how to ship smarter. Like,
Yeah.
and again,
For
take
your
your
customers.
commission out of it. Take what you're
Yeah.
going to make out of it, because in the long run, if you can be, if you can have that like the intrinsic joy as well as the extrinsic, and say your extrinsic
No,
joy is
nothing better.
$200,000 a year instead of 225 or 230, but that intrinsic joy is like $1 million a year, you're going to live a much better life. And
Yes.
and I'm not saying I'm not all about making money, because hey, listen, I'm in things for profit, not practice most of the time. So like, let's
Of
call that a
course.
spade, right? Most companies this year, especially in
Yeah.
logistics, are saying, hey, listen, our number one focus is profit.
Mm.
Number one is profit, and
They
how do we
have
make
to
more
after
profit?
shit after the last
Well,
couple of years, but
if well, absolutely, but if you look at the law of attraction, and if you look at the laws that the universe is based on, okay, and I'll get spiritual here for a minute with y'all.
yeah, yeah.
The more service you put out, the more you make in money. If you are not making money right now, it's because you're not providing enough service. We sit
Yes.
here and yeah, sure, we talk about some of the programs we have that are for sale, but we don't push anything down people's throat. It's an open book. We bring
Yep.
in some of the biggest names when it comes to information, data, and moving yourself forward in this industry. You can make millions a year just by watching this show every day and taking the strategies and
Yes,
using them,
sir.
right? Do we ever say we're going to charge you $5 a show? No. But hey, we have programs. Sure. You want to learn more? You want to scale your career? You want to grow leaps and bounds? Contact us. We'll put you in touch with those programs that work for you. Not just a
Absolutely.
generic program that, hey, everybody taking it.
Yeah,
No, it
yeah.
doesn't work like
You're
that.
gonna make $1 million
You know,
tomorrow. No, it's not
I've
gonna
never sold any of my courses without having a conversation with the student first,
yeah.
because
Wait,
I have 7 or 8. A $35 course might be the one for them right now. They might not be ready for a $2,000 course.
yeah.
But if I hear it, I'm like, listen, it's a big price, but you know what? If you double, triple,
You're
and
ready.
quadruple your numbers in 12 months, it's kind of an investment. So take that investment is even going a step further. Take an hour of your time. The
Yeah.
biggest investment you can make is your time. Take an
Time.
hour of your time every day. Watch this show and then go watch some strategy on YouTube, or go read articles and learn and educate. Get a glossary of articles where you can share with customers and say, this reminded me of our conversation. Those are huge wins. And every day
Absolutely.
you do it, right? Like Maggie said right at the beginning,
Yeah.
learners are earners. And
Yeah.
like, that is crushing it and worth it. Lisa says worth it. Kinda. It is.
I
More
like it.
value. Absolutely. The more value we provide, the more money we make. 100,
Yeah. Is it,
100%. And it is. It's hold on. John Wilson
no,
says laugh out loud. Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and it's an investment, Lisa says. 100%. I think it was Ryan one time when I was looking at things, and Ryan was like, hey Dan, here's the deal. you know um who was it? Spends like $3-4 million on his health, and in LeBron
Oh,
James.
yeah. LeBron
LeBron
James.
James
Yeah.
spends like $3-4 million a year on his health,
Oh, yeah.
on his education, on perfecting his craft. Right now, if you look at that, he makes what, 100 million a year, so it's like 4% of what he makes, right?
Yeah.
So even if you choose 3-4%, choose to invest 3-4% yourself every month. Like every month, I buy
Yes.
myself 4 books. And I have for decades. Like I've got Tupperwares of books downstairs
Books
because
are
I buy 4 books and I say I'm going to read 4 books a month. That's my investment in myself. I don't care what's going on in my life. I mean, when I lost my company, I had 0 income. I still bought 4 books a month, because it
love
was
it.
actually that book, 3 Feet from Gold and Outwitting the Devil. Those 3 Feet from Gold from Greg Reed and Sharon Lecter, and Outwitting the Devil from Greg Reed and Sharon Lecter, both composites and manuscripts of Napoleon Hill's that he never released, are the 2 books that brought me out the depths of despair and failure and broken spirit
Yeah.
to where I am today. Those 2 books brought me from below ground zero. We're talking, I buried
Change your
myself
life. It
into the
changed your
core
life
of the earth.
clearly, and they have no idea, but it changed your life. That's
And it's just words they put on pieces of paper, man.
yeah. Right.
Like,
But
you know what I'm saying?
but
Like
it's the
Napoleon
story.
Hill. Like, think of this. Napoleon, you want to talk about leaving a legacy, and you want to talk about success. So Napoleon Hill is best known for Think and Grow Rich, right? That's right. But these
Amazing.
manuscripts were in a vault when he died. He never released them to the world because at the time he died, they said the world's not ready for this. Like, they felt the family was going to get backlash and all this kind of stuff. And so they released it in 2008 and 9 when the economy crashed. But think about that, right? You think about Napoleon Hill's life when he died. Decades later, it's like, now it's ready.
Yeah.
So what you do now will be represented down the road. And we'll bring it back to Lisa for a second. You know, the inspiration she gave that individual now.
Yeah.
It's very possible. And this is the way I personally choose to think. 20 years down the road, when that individual has given that lesson to their child, and their child is now having kids, or 30 years down the road, and that lesson gets passed, Lisa might not be here, but that lesson still is.
But that lesson keeps going. Yes.
And
I love that.
Take that as a big win for Friday.
I agree. This is a great show, guys. Thank you, Lisa, John, Ryan.
We had tons. Ryan, Gary, Kyle,
my wife, Gary,
Derek, your wife,
Kyle,
David.
Everybody. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Jessica,
yeah,
the flatbed queen. I gotta give her a shout out. She's
and you know what? Can we just address that for a sec? What a small world. Jessica says she put hashtag flatbed queen in LinkedIn. I'm like, you got to connect with Jeff Dickinson because Jeff needs flatbed. She's like, yeah, I'm already on it. You're way behind the party. You're way behind in the party.
I love it.
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate you too. You know what? Keep doing that. Keep
doing
what you're
everybody
doing.
Who's watching, everybody who watches this after. Again, Sales Chatter Live, daily podcast. We cover all things sales logistics, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. till 9:30. Please join us daily, obviously, to start your day with motivation, life skills, sales strategies, and much, much more.
Mama watching again today. The silent watchers here. Mama, you're not the silent watcher. You were coming out with the quotes and the you were banging it. Ryan even said Mama's on her game today.
Yes, look at her. She came out at the end. Hi, Mom. So if you do have freight in Ohio, like who gave a shout out to Daman? We got to bring him up in.
David did. David? So okay. Yeah, David did. David connected with me yesterday after our show.
Obviously,
and
guys,
said, I'd love to.
In Ohio, Indiana, New York, or Toronto area, struggling to get back forth to Western Canada, get a hold of Centurion Trucking, Daman. They're our sponsors. Thank you so much, Daman, for sponsoring us, believing in us. And I do have a good quote, even though I stole the one because you just hit us with something good. This doesn't even have anybody, but it doesn't really matter. It's kind of a shout out for the weekend. 2 great games this weekend. Go Joey B. I'd love to see the win for Cincy. Life is like a sport. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but the game always goes on, guys. So keep playing.
Keep playing. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We honor and cherish that you guys spend your morning with us, and hopefully we've jazzed you up and fired you up for a Friday. Remember, just because it's Friday doesn't mean you can't make things happen. Go out there, make every call educational, crush your sales, and we'll see you next time. To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.